piece of meat on the side and cut it into small cubes, alright? Small cubes, and I layered it with some peppers, some onions, some bacon, also some a piece of mushroom, and we're just going to salt and pepper this one and grill it. Okay, so my assistant here will be grilling it for me, and then I'll be making a simple glaze that I could apply on the top of the beef later on, just to give it a boost of flavor, no? Okay, so now, okay, it's very important when you're cooking with quality meat that you do not want to take off all those juice inside. When I say take off all those juice inside, most of the time, when you cook at home, people just put salt and pepper right away. Maybe about an hour after that, they're going to cook it. But this one, quality meat, you do not want to destroy the flavor and lose the juiciness of it. So you always add salt just before you put it on the grill. I will try to cook this one in an hour. All of this, I have 5 items to do, and I will try to cook everything in an hour. Okay, so just in case, we will try to squeeze in some time and cook small amounts, and then later on, I'll just pass around some of the others. Okay, so this one I'll add a little salt. Okay, some black pepper. Quality meat, nothing else. Salt and pepper. That's it. Okay. If you put some, like spices, it's up to you. Some spices can bring out the flavor, but for me, honestly, just salt and pepper for steak. That's it. No? Okay? Now, I'm not putting oil at the moment because I want the oil basically to come out from the meat. US beef contains a lot of fat inside, good fat, flavorful fat. And if you add some, if you douse it with oil at this point, eventually what will happen is you'll just create a lot of smoke. Second, you'll be flavoring the meat with the kind of oil you're using, and you don't want that. So salt and pepper, meat itself, and later on, just a touch of olive oil, and we just glaze it with some sauce. For the sauce, okay, we'll be preparing a bit of like an Asian-style barbecue sauce. Here I have some orange. Okay, I have some Worcestershire sauce. I have some beef juice. Now the beef juice, what you can do with this one is basically all the trimmings that you have from the beef. You can just roast it up, and add some water and give it a good boil, and that's it. And then you add a nice flavorful gravy like this. Now, if you don't have the time and you don't have the time to make a nice beef sauce, I prefer you use a stock of beef. It's not bad. It's just you just put a small amount. Okay. I have some sugar in here. Hoisin sauce. Okay, and some chili powder. Now, this will be my glaze later on for the steak. It's as simple as that, Not too much flavors in it. It's just nice Asian sweet flavors. As we all know, Filipinos, we have a sweet tooth, And we always like something sweet in anything we eat, Okay, now, if you're at home and doing like a Sunday brunch, Sunday grill, this will be the perfect thing to do, okay? Brochette actually is something that you eat with a nice salad, maybe a nice rice killer, or some bread. That's it, Now, it's different when you cook it on a charcoal grill. It gives out more flavor. Smokiness is a key factor to grilling, to proper grilling also, okay? Yeah.
Can I ask how long does it take to prepare?
This one?
Per meal, yeah.
I would say 50 minutes.
Wow.
If you have everything done,
Right.
you can cook it in about what, 10 minutes maybe? Okay, depending on how hot the grill is. Unfortunately, I only have thing is this grill is not so high temperature, so it's different when you cook it at home on a nice charcoal grill. It's nice and smoky flavor. But nonetheless, it still can work. No problem with that. Now this glaze, I would just basically just douse it on top. Just a small amount, Okay? So while this is grilling, I'll start to prepare the next one. Okay? Now, let's do the...
You're a multitasker.
Sorry?
You're a multitasker.
Okay, well, it's going to take about 50 more minutes to cook because of the low heat. Now, also when cooking steak, it's very important that you have to have a really high, like high temp grill, or also, if equipment that's really high. That's the only problem at home. We don't have the luxury. Some of us don't have the luxury of cooking like that at home. But I suggest if you have a small pan like this and a small stove top like this, it can do wonders. You just have to heat up your pan before you start to cook. So at this point, I'm just going to heat up my pan first. I will show you a way how we cook steaks in the restaurant, in the hotel, where it's the same technique we do all the time. In ice camp, for example, we teach all our students how to do the proper cooking techniques. And it's very important for you to create a nice crust in the steak. Okay, that's number one. Now, I'll be cooking a ribeye, a piece of ribeye here. Now, the ribeye comes from the center part of the cattle, you know? And it contains a lot of, this is the part that doesn't work the most, so it's more tender than usual. So it's relatively, high in price, but quality. It has a lot of flavor, and I think personally this is my choice cut meat, ribeye. So ribeye, again, you can do whatever with it. You can do a steak like this. You can also do like brochettes like this one. Anything, but do not try to braise with it or cook with it. Like I know Filipinos, for example, they cook caldereta. Do not try to use this one because it's way too expensive, So I'll show you another cut later on that you can use for braising, like doing calderetas or stews or whatever. But with this beef, okay, again, salt and pepper. That's it. That's the magic of it,
This is already that flavorful.
It is, right. Because you see, the thing is with US beef, the reason why it has a lot of flavor is because of, they raise it properly. Second, it has a lot of fat marbling, you can see. And that fat marbling is basically all about flavor. Without that fat marbling, one, it's not going to have flavor. Second, it's going to be tough. This one basically is like creating a layer of fat inside. When the meat has a lot of fat inside, and when it cooks, it basically based by its based by its own fat. And that's the key factor with it. Now, it's also very important, again, you keep the meat dry, okay? Before I put it inside my pan is really hot, it's smoking hot, And the reason I want it really hot is because I want to create that crust. Okay, that crust is all about flavor, it's all about caramelization. And caramelization is all about flavor. And that's what we're going to try to do here, Now, what I did with this beef, okay, prime beef, good quality beef, you have to store it in the fridge overnight. You cannot get it out, thaw it, frozen, thaw it, slice it, cook with it. Normally it takes a bit of time. This one, we got this one on a Friday. I defrosted this one over the weekend. And yesterday, I sliced it and placed it inside the fridge. On a rack, you slide it up in the fridge, and leave it there overnight. The reason why I'm doing that is it's basically I'm trying to age it. Dry age it a bit or dry it. Because I want all those juices to drain off. Because once I start to cook with all those juices, what's going to happen is it's not going to make the crust anymore. So you want a dry piece of surface, put it on a hot grill, and that's it. I'll show you in a bit, Second, also salt. Last, okay, just before it goes into the grill. Now I have some olive oil. What is this? I hope it's hot enough. Now, really hot pan, place a bit of oil. What I'm trying to do here is basically just seasoning my pan. So when I place my meat in, it's not going to stick. Okay? You can also use a charcoal grill if you wish. But I think, personally, if I make my steak, I'd rather cook it in the pan. Why? Because I'll show you in a bit. We're going to use all those flavors in the pan after cooking it to make something. Alright? So I have my salt and pepper. It goes straight to the pan. And when you hear that sizzle, that's the most important thing. When you're pan frying, you want to hear that sizzle. No sizzle, no good. Okay? Now, we just keep it ready this one, please.
You heard that. No sizzle, no good.
No sizzle, no good. Okay? To go with that, alright, what I will do, I will serve this one with some mushrooms and onions. Okay, a good steak doesn't need any sauce to make it flavorful. Okay, Americans, they hate sauces in their steaks, and it's only meat, and that's it.
I want to ask you, since we are on the subject, how do you like your steak?
Me.
Medium well, medium rare.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Especially for, you know, like end of the day, Filipinos, we tend to cook things differently.
Right.
Okay? And what we always tell our students is, you know, it all depends on how you want it.
Right.
But in the end, for you to appreciate something, you have to cook it the same way, you know, the Westerners, for example, will cook their steak, so you know what the difference is. And then you can decide for yourself which one you want.
Because I know, if I can just share a story, I know another friend of mine who loves to cook steaks as well, and he's also a chef, but then he was quite upset when a customer ordered a steak and asked for well done, which I guess it works for some people, but would you want to react to that? Because I would also go with medium rare.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, it's about your taste.
Right.
You know?
But floats your boat.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea. That's what I say. But in the end, you just have to try it, and then you decide. Okay. Thing is, people, you know, especially the Filipinos, we want our steaks well done. We cook always well done. Okay, and that's where you create a problem with the, you know, you destroy the flavor, you destroy the meat. That's quality meat. That's not cheap meat. That's, you know, it's not expensive. It's not too expensive, but it's expensive meat in that sense. You know? And you know, you don't want to just overcook it and lose all those fat, because once you overcook the meat, what will happen is meat is like a sponge. I always tell my students, it's like a sponge. You know, it absorbs a lot of liquid, but at the same time, it has a lot of moisture inside. Now, if you cook it really hot and overcook it, what will happen is the meat will squeeze out all those juices.
All those excellent juices, right?
When it squeezes out all those juices right away, it will be dry. So, what we try to do is we try to cook it at a high heat and then cook it to a point wherein you could like adjust the heat and cook it slowly, so that the heat is relaxed. It's not, you know, going off the. Sorry, it's stripping off. I think we have a high-powered stove top here. It's stripping off. Okay. Yeah, so again, like what I was saying, it's like a sponge. Normally people would say, when you sear the meat, it seals all the juices inside. That's not true. Okay, because again, a sponge, you can squeeze out all the juices. And, you know, if I cook like this, if I don't have a hot pan, and you just put the steak inside, it's just going to stew. It's not going to roast. It's not going to drain the crust. It's just going to boil up.
Okay, so very relevant information for all those who are my fellow foodies here, and those who love to cook and prepare such delicious meals.
Okay? Yeah, see? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it around. Before I turn it around, I'm going to put a little salt again. Alright? And then, you see the crust? There's a lot of crust going on there now. That crust basically is all about flavor.
Alright.
Alright? If you eat a piece of steak without the crust, it's no good.
So that's the caramelizing part.
That's the caramelizing part. You're caramelizing the proteins of the steak.
Okay.
And basically, when you caramelize something, anything you do in cooking, that's all about flavor. And that's the only way you can do it. Now, let's put some more. These are the sample of the brochettes. No? Again, it's very simple. I'm just going to cook it medium rare first. I'll let it rest, and then later on, before I try to serve it, we'll cook it again, okay?
Did you hear that? He's going to serve them.
So all this meat here that I have in front of me, again, a nice Sunday lunch would contain maybe a salad, maybe some roast potatoes, some potato salad, some pasta, and you know, you serve it like that. It's wonderful, no? Okay, now, the steak is cooking nice. You see all those bits and pieces playing underneath. We're going to try to take that off and make a sauce later on with our mushrooms and the onions, no?
So we are creating or working up an appetite for all of you guys this afternoon. Once again, we welcome you to the launch of SM Supermarket's fresh new offering, the SM Supermarket Prime Angus Beef.
All right.